If your sales team cold calls from personal phones, random spreadsheets, or a basic VoIP app with no proper CRM sync, you are making the hardest part of sales even harder. Cold calling is already brutal enough. The last thing your reps need is manual dialing, messy note, missed follow-up, no call recordings, no analytics, and zero visibility into what is actually working. So in this video, we're breaking down the best cold calling software for SMB sales teams in 2026. And I'm not just talking about apps that can make phone calls. That's not enough anymore. A real cold calling setup needs a dialer, call recording, CRM integration, analytics, and more, as well as ideally some AI features that actually save time instead of just looking shiny on a pricing page. So I'll walk you through what to look for, where each tool fits, and which one I choose depending on your team size and workflow. And if you want to check out any of the platforms we're featuring in this video, I'll leave the link in the description to all of them, so you can take a closer look. Let's get into it. Before comparing tools, let's get clear on what actually matters. A lot of teams pick cold calling software the wrong way. They look at the cheapest monthly price, or they choose whatever phone app their CRM recommends, and then 3 months later they realize the actual workflow is painful. For SMB sales teams, the buying decision should come down to 6 things. First, dialing speed. If reps are calling manually all day, you're burning time. A proper cold calling tool should offer click-to-call, preview dialing, power dialing, or some kind of outbound dialer that helps reps move through lists faster. Second, CRM sync. If the calls, notes, recordings, tags, and outcomes don't sync back to your CRM, your team ends up living in 2 systems. That is where follow-ups get missed and pipeline data turns hectic. Third, call quality and phone numbers. This matters more than people think. If your call quality is bad, or your numbers look weird, or your team can't manage local and international numbers properly, it hurts connect rates and trust. Fourth, analytic. Managers need to know who is calling, who is connecting, which campaigns are working, which reps need help, and what happens after calls. Without reporting, you're basically guessing with confidence. Fifth, coaching and AI. This is becoming more important. Call summaries, transcripts, call scoring, sentiment, talk to listen ratio, and searchable call history can save hours of review time and help managers coach reps based on real conversations. And sixth, compliance and control. This is the boring part, but it matters. If you're doing outbound calls, especially in the US or Europe, you need to care about consent, calling rules, do not call requirements, and call recording laws. Software helps, but it does not magically make your sales process legal. Your team still needs to know the rules. So with that framework in mind, let's look at the platforms. The best overall pick for most SMB sales teams is CloudTalk. And the reason is simple. CloudTalk sits in that sweet spot between being powerful enough for serious outbound sales, but still practical enough for smaller and growing teams. It's not just a basic business phone app, and it's not an enterprise-only option that takes 6 months and a consultant to set up. CloudTalk gives sales teams the core cold calling stack: business phone numbers, 160 plus international numbers, click-to-call, call recording, call tags, call queues, routing, analytics, CRM integrations, and advanced dialer options like power dialer and parallel dialer, depending on the plan or add-ons. The real value is that it is built around sales and support teams that actually live inside their CRM. So if your team uses tools like HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive, Zapier, or any of the 100 plus integrations CloudTalk supports, the platform is designed to connect calls and conversation history back into the tools you already use. That matters because a cold call is not just a phone call. It is part of a sales workflow. Someone calls a lead, leaves a note, tags the outcome, schedules a follow-up, maybe sends an SMS, and then the next rep or manager needs to see what happened. If that information is scattered across phones, spreadsheets, and CRM notes, things fall apart fast. CloudTalk also has a strong outbound calling setup. The power dialer is especially useful for teams calling through lists because it automates sequential dialing, gives reps control over the session, supports voicemail drop, call recording, tags, contact history, and outcomes. So instead of your reps clicking around all day, the workflow becomes much smoother. And if your team needs higher volume outbound calling, there's also the parallel dialer option, which is designed to dial multiple numbers at once and connect reps to live conversations faster. That kind of feature is not for every team, but for high volume outbound teams, it can make a serious difference. CloudTalk also has AI conversation intelligence as an add-on, which is where the platform becomes more useful for managers. You can get call summaries, searchable transcripts, AI notes, topic extraction, sentiment, call scoring, and exports. That means instead of listening to hours of calls manually, managers can review patterns faster and coach based on actual data. On top of that, CloudTalk also offers AI voice agents and a virtual receptionist product. This is useful for teams that do not want every missed call turning into a lost lead. The AI receptionist can answer calls, handle basic questions, collect information, route callers, take messages, and help cover after-hours or high-volume inbound situations. So even though CloudTalk is strong for outbound sales, it also gives teams extra tools for inbound coverage and lead handling. Now, is CloudTalk the cheapest possible option? No. If you just need one phone number for a tiny business, there are simpler tools. But if you are an SMB sales team that actually cold calls, tracks performance, works inside a CRM, needs international numbers, and wants a system that can scale with your team, CloudTalk is the strongest all-around fit. Best for SMB sales teams, outbound sales, support plus sales teams, CRM-heavy teams, international calling, and managers who want visibility into performance. Not best for solo founders who only need a basic business number and almost never run outbound campaigns. CloudTalk's starter plan is $25 per user per month when billed annually, or $34 monthly. Essential is $29 per user per month annually, or $39 monthly. Expert is $49 per user per month annually, or $69 monthly with a 3-seat minimum. There is also a custom plan for larger teams. Some advanced tools like Power Dialer, Parallel Dialer, AI Conversation Intelligence, and AI Voice Agents may be included on higher plans or available as add-ons. So the best approach is to check the pricing page and compare based on the exact workflow your team needs. The next major option is Aircall. Aircall is one of the most popular cloud phone systems for sales and support teams, and its biggest strength is ease of use. It has a clean interface, strong integrations, and is generally easy for teams to adopt quickly. If your team wants a polished phone system that connects well with CRMs and help desk, Aircall is a strong option. It has call routing, IVR, call recording, analytics, SMS, and integrations with major tools. For cold calling specifically, Aircall's Power Dialer is useful, but it typically sits behind the higher plan. So you need to make sure you're comparing the actual plan you need, not just the entry price. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make with sales tools. They see the starting price, then realize the actual cold calling features they wanted require an upgrade. Where Aircall makes sense is for teams that care a lot about simplicity, onboarding, and a polished calling experience. It is especially good if your team is split between sales and support, and you want a clean phone system that people can learn fast. Where I'd be more careful is if your main priority is high-volume outbound calling and cost efficiency. In that case, compare Aircall closely against CloudTalk, JustCall, and other dedicated sales dialers, because the best phone system is not always the best cold calling engine. Best for teams that want easy setup, clean UI, strong integrations, and a polished business phone system. Not best for teams that want the most cost-efficient outbound dialing setup. JustCall is another strong option, especially if your workflow blends calls, SMS, and follow-up automation. A lot of cold calling teams do not just call anymore. They call, leave a voicemail, send a text, log the outcome, trigger a follow-up, and keep moving. JustCall leans into that kind of sales engagement workflow. It includes calling, messaging, automation, AI transcription depending on plan, and sales dialer features. So if your team cares a lot about SMS and multi-touch follow-up, JustCall is worth looking at. The trade-off is that you should pay close attention to which plan unlocks which features. Like most sales platforms, the starting price is not always the real price if you need advanced dialing, workflow automation, AI coaching, or higher volume usage. JustCall is a good fit for teams that want more than calling, but do not want a massive enterprise sales engagement platform. It gives you a lot of practical outreach tools in one place. Best for SMB teams that rely on calling plus SMS follow-ups. Not best for teams that mainly want the cleanest call center analytics or global calling infrastructure. Dialpad is a different kind of option because its biggest strength is AI. Dialpad Sell is built around AI-enabled sales outreach, with features like real-time transcription, sentiment analysis, keyword tracking, post-call summaries, CRM updates, and follow-up reminders. So if your team cares a lot about call intelligence, coaching, and AI insights, Dialpad deserves attention. The platform is especially interesting for managers who want to understand what reps are saying on calls without manually listening to every recording. The downside is that Dialpad is not always the strongest pure outbound dialing tool compared to platforms more focused on high-volume cold calling. So the question is, do you need AI insights and sales coaching more, or do you need raw outbound dialing efficiency more? If your team is more consultative and calls are longer and more complex, Dialpad can make a lot of sense. If your team is hammering through big outbound lists all day, I'd compare it carefully with CloudTalk or JustCall before deciding. Best for sales teams that care about AI transcription, coaching, and conversation insights. Not best for teams that mainly want the most aggressive outbound dialing workflow. OpenPhone, Grasshopper, Google Voice, and similar tools can be great for simple business calling. They are useful when you need a business number, shared inbox, text messaging, voicemail, and a professional phone presence. But I would separate basic business phone tools from cold calling software. If you're a solo founder or a tiny team taking occasional calls, those tools can be enough. But if you have sales reps doing serious outbound calling every day, you will probably outgrow them. You'll want dialers, CRM sync, call outcomes, analytics, coaching, recordings, and campaign workflows. So for true SMB sales teams, I would not pick a basic VoIP tool as the main cold calling platform unless your calling volume is very low. Here's the simple decision. If you want the best overall cold calling platform for SMB sales teams, start with CloudTalk. It has the strongest mix of outbound dialing, 160 plus international numbers, 100 plus integrations, call analytics, AI add-ons, AI voice agents, virtual receptionist options, and scalability without becoming too enterprise heavy. If you want the easiest phone system with a polished interface and strong integrations, look at Aircall. If your workflow relies heavily on calls plus SMS follow-ups, look at JustCall. If AI transcription, call coaching, and conversation intelligence matter more than raw dialing speed, look at Dialpad Sell. And if you need a larger communications platform or contact center setup, RingCentral may make sense. But for most SMB sales teams watching this, especially teams that want to improve cold calling without rebuilding their whole sales stack, CloudTalk is the one I'd look at first. Before you choose anything, avoid these mistakes. First, do not buy based only on the lowest starting price. The features you actually need, power dialing, CRM integrations, AI summaries, advanced analytics, may be on higher plans or add-ons. Second, do not ignore CRM integration. If the tool does not sync cleanly with your CRM, reps will skip logging notes, managers will lose visibility, and follow-ups will get messy. Third, do not overbuy. If you have 3 reps, you probably do not need an enterprise contact center platform. You need a focused cold calling workflow that your team will actually use. Fourth, do not ignore compliance. Calling software can help you manage workflows, but it does not replace legal responsibility. Know your calling rules, recording laws, consent requirements, and do not call obligations. And fifth, do not judge the tool only by the admin dashboard. The rep experience matters more. If the reps hate using it, adoption dies. Test the dialer, test call quality, test CRM sync, and test the follow-up workflow before committing. So what is the best cold calling software for SMB sales teams in 2026? My top pick is CloudTalk because it hits the best balance. Serious outbound calling, 160 plus international numbers, 100 plus integrations, strong CRM sync, useful analytics, AI conversation intelligence options, AI voice agents, virtual receptionist tools, and enough scalability for growing sales teams. Aircall is great if you want the cleanest, easy to adopt phone system. JustCall is strong if SMS and sales engagement matter. Dialpad is strong if AI coaching and transcription are your biggest priority. RingCentral is better for bigger teams that want a broader communication platform. But if I were advising a small or mid-sized sales team that wants to make more calls, track everything properly, coach reps, connect to the CRM, handle international numbers, and avoid stitching together 5 different tools, CloudTalk would be the first one I'd test. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the CloudTalk link in the description. Test it with your real workflow. Connect your CRM, import a small call list, run a dialing session, review the analytics, and see whether it actually saves your team time. Because the right cold calling software is not just the one with the longest feature list. It is the one your reps actually use, your managers can actually measure, and your sales process can actually grow with. That's it for this one. Like the video if it helped, subscribe for more software breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one.